Hello everyone, this is Wonder Recapped. Today we bring you the movie, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief. Hope you like it. Watch the boy's hand. By gently putting his hand into the water, water starts to flow into his body magically. All the wounds on his body begin to heal quickly, and soon he stands up to life with renewed strength. The boy is named Percy, who has been particularly fond of water since he was a child. He can hold his breath for more than 10 minutes in the water. And this is all because he is the son of Poseidon and immortal. Not long ago, the lightning bolt of the god Zeus was stolen. Zeus claims that it is the son of Poseidon that stole it, and demands him to return the bolt within 14 days, otherwise he will start a war with Poseidon and his people. As soon as hearing that the lightning bolt was missing, many monsters from the underworld come to Earth to get it. This day, Percy is attacked by a fury at the museum. Percy is dumbfounded by the sudden attack and almost dies of it. Fortunately, at the critical moment, two people come in and save him. One is called Grover, the other is Percy's teacher Mr. Brunner. It turns out that these two men were sent by Poseidon to protect his son secretly. Now that Percy's identity is exposed, his mother have no choice but send him to the Half-Blood camp. On their way to the camp, Percy finally knows the secret of his birth. After reaching the entrance of the camp, they are suddenly attacked by a minotaur from the underworld. After trying her best to send Percy to the camp, Percy's mother is killed by the minotaur. The angry Percy rushes forward with his sword. Then, the minotaur hits against a tree, breaking its horn. At this moment, Percy pulls out the horn, stabs it directly into its heart and kills it. After doing that, Percy passes out from overshock, and when he wakes up, he finds that he is lying in the camp. Looking at the man-goat Grover standing in front of him, Percy is stunned. In fact, all people in the camp are children of gods and mortals, including Grover and Mr. Brunner. Everyone here has unique abilities, such as Annabeth, daughter of Athena, the goddess of wisdom. She was born to be a good fighter and has beautiful blue eyes. And the history teacher Mr. Brunner is a centaur with powerful abilities. To activate the power in Percy's body which enables him to protect himself, they begin a devil training for Percy. On this day, Percy is beaten by Annabeth to the ground, and his whole body is covered with wounds. Suddenly a voice comes, telling Percy to put his hand into the water. Percy follows the instruction of the voice, and just at the moment when his hand touches the water, something magical happens. All of wounds on Percy's body miraculously heals, and the power inside of him is finally activated. At night, everyone is celebrating for the joining of Percy. Suddenly, a flame falls from the sky and an extremely large monster emerges from the flame. This monster is Hades, who takes charge of the underworld among three worlds, and he also is the big brother of Zeus and Poseidon. He comes here for the lightning bolt. Hades claims that if Percy gives him the lightning bolt he will release his mother. It turns out that Percy's mother is not dead, but has been captured to the underworld. Though not having the lightning bolt at all, Percy still resolves to go to the underworld to save his mother. As Percy's friends, Annabeth and Grover decide to go with Percy, embarking on a journey to the underworld. As mortals, it's not that easy for them to get in the underworld, so they must figure out a useful way. They think of Luke. As the son of the messenger of the gods, the only god who is able to enter and exit the underworld freely, Luke must know how to do it. As expected, they learn from Luke. In fact, getting in the underworld is the easy part, but getting out is tricky. Unless they can get Persephone's pearls, with whose help they can go in and out of the underworld freely. Then, Luke gives them a map, which can lead them to find 3 pearls. Before leaving, Luke gives them 2 more gifts, a shield and a pair of flying shoes. According to the map, 3 of them come to the first place. This place is very weird, in which stand many strange stone statues. Then Grover sees a statue of his uncle. Suddenly, he realizes something horrible and shouts in panic. It turns out that this is the lair of Medusa, the monster who can turn people into stone statues with her eyes. But now they can't find where Annabeth is. On the other side, Annabeth is running with an old woman, but is stopped by Medusa eventually. At the moment when Medusa is going to kill Annabeth, Percy arrives there in time and distracts Medusa away. Grover seizes the opportunity and saves Annabeth. As Medusa is chasing after Percy, she pushes down the stone statues, pressing Percy tightly to the ground. Then she catches him up and prepares to cast a spell on him. At this critical point, Grover and Annabeth arrive in time and knock Medusa to the ground with a car. Percy then picks up the sword quickly and cuts off Medusa's head. After doing that, they finally get the first pearl. Before leaving, they also take Medusa's head with them. According to the instruction of the map, they soon come to the second place, Parthenon in Nashville. It's easy to see that the pearl is embedded in the crown of the statue Athena. By using the flying shoes, Percy easily gets up to the top of the statue and picks the second pearl successfully. Just as they are about to leave, a Hydra who can spit out fire appears in front of them. Roaring fire spitted out from Hydra's mouths almost burns them into grilled meat. Grabbing the shield and sword, Percy rushes out and cuts off Hydra's 5 heads easily. However, things aren't that simple as he thinks. With 5 heads growing to 9 heads, Hydra comes back again. This is what Hydra really is. Hydra attacks Percy and others madly, and the blazing fire brings a great sense of oppression to Percy. At the moment Percy is about to be burned to death, the power in his body is magically awakened again. He reaches out his hand and forms a wall of water, blocking Hydra's attack for a while. 3 of them want to take the opportunity to leave, but the gate is locked. No way to escape. Grover takes out Medusa's head at this critical moment. In this way, Hydra turns into a stone statue, so they successfully leave with Pearl. With not much time left, they go to the third place as fast as they can. Lotus Casino in Las Vegas is a place full of temptation. After getting into the casino, they forget everything and wallow in this colorful world of parties and pleasure. Just when they are having so much fun, that magical voice rings around Percy's ears again, waking him up from his ecstasy. It turns out that all this is caused by lotus flowers, by eating which one will always indulge himself in the casino. The awakened Percy figures out everything in the casino and wakes up his partners immediately. After getting the pearl in the gambling tray, they rush into the sports car in the casino and run away at their fastest speed. By doing so, they successfully get the third pearl. Next, they find the entrance to the underworld and embark on a wooden boat which can take them to their destination. Sitting on the boat, they float slowly to the deep underworld along with tragic howls. To their surprise, they are stopped by 2 furious hellhounds at the entrance of the palace. Fortunately, Persephone shows up in time and drive away hellhounds. Then, 3 of them come to Hades. Percy explains to Hades that he doesn't have the lightning bolt, which makes Hades very angry. Hades releases Percy's mother, but only for separating the mother and son forever. When Percy sees his mother, he is so excited to hug his mother that he drops his shield. However, at that moment, to everyone's surprise, the shield on the ground emits a dazzling light. It turns out that Luke is the real thief who stole the lightning bolt and gave the shield to Percy to blame it on him. Hades picks up the lightning bolt. Looking at the strong power in front of him, he conjures up an evil idea, ruling the 3 worlds. So Hades suddenly changes his mind and decides to kill Percy directly. Seeing all of them are about to be devoured by ghosts, Persephone snatches the lightning bolt from Hades quickly. With a gentle wave, the bolt discharges several million volts of electricity on Hades and he dies of it immediately. Being confined in the underworld by Hades, Persephone has been hating him for a long time. She decides to take this rare opportunity to kill Hades, so that she can regain freedom. Then, she gives the lightning bolt back to Percy and asks him to return it to Zeus. But they realize a problem. With only 3 pearls, 4 of them cannot go back together. In the end, Grover decides to stay here. As a protector, this is what he's meant to do. So, Percy and his mother, along with Annabeth, come to the entrance to Olympus with the help of pearls. Just when they are about to enter the entrance, the real thief Luke appears. He falls from the sky and snatches the lightning bolt from Percy. It turns out that Luke is the planner of the whole incident. He wants to start a war among gods so that he can take the opportunity to rule the 3 worlds. Before the huge power of the lightning bolt, Percy and others are not capable of defeating Luke. Fortunately, Percy is smart enough. He puts on his flying shoes and seizes the opportunity to come behind Luke. By a sneak attack, Percy successfully takes back the lightning bolt. But next Luke cuts Percy's flying shoes by throwing a knife, successfully knocking down Percy and grabbing back the lightning bolt. Just when Luke is about to kill Percy, the power inside Percy awakens again. He successfully defeats Luke and summons the trident. Using the trident, Percy throws Luke into the sea directly. Then he picks up the lightning bolt and three of them finally get on the elevator which brings them to the palace of Zeus. Just a few minutes before the deadline given by Zeus, Percy finally returns the lightning bolt to him. He successfully stops the war between two gods, Poseidon and Zeus, and tells Zeus who is the real thief of the lightning bolt. Annabeth sees her mother Athena here, and Percy also sees his father Poseidon. His father tells Percy that Zeus has forbidden all gods to have contact with mortals since years ago. Though Percy has never seen his father, it doesn't mean that Poseidon is not with him. At this point, Percy finally knows that the voice that appears in his ears all the time is from his father. At the end of the story, Percy forgives his father and returns to the camp accompanied by his mother. Grover also leaves the underworld with the help of Zeus, and successfully gets upgraded to a senior protector. Eventually, Percy can continue to do the training together with his friends again. This is the end of the film. See you tomorrow.